All right, guys. So I was reading today about a guy who many people say lost his confidence, lost his swagger. Okay. And this guy was someone who was highly renowned and highly respected, and in some cases, highly feared. But some setbacks, some losses, some turmoil changed the perception of this guy to the public. And with that, even in comparison, when you look at the way that he was in the past and currently, you can definitely tell a difference, right? And you see, why does that happen, right? You ever stop and wonder, why is it that all it takes is one little event? I didn't even know they had a Bed and Bath and Body Works. Holy shit. Gotta go over there. My goodness, you have to get those lotions, right? Pause. Either ways, why is it that whenever something happens to somebody, they just turn into a completely different person? You ever wonder why? And by the way, the guy who I'm referring to is Conor McGregor. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. He's just one of the greatest athletes, greatest entertainers of all time. But, you know, he went through all this shit. He went through these losses with Khabib and all this stuff. But I didn't want to mention who it was at the beginning because I know a lot of you guys might not watch combat sports or whatever because you guys are not as awesome as me. But, you know, in all seriousness, guys, it's amazing how this guy lost all his swagger from all the losses and all the setbacks. And, you know, the reason why this happens is a little thing called state change, right? Anytime I see a sport, like the World Cup is going on right now, right? You can tell the energy difference between both teams. When a team has the momentum, when the team has the confidence, the upper hand, a lot of people talk about, oh, well, this team has this player, this team has Messi, this team has Mbappe, this team has Ronaldo. But it's like, sure, those things definitely factor into it, the coaching and all that stuff. But if one team has a significant advantage in the energy, and I don't mean energy as in stamina, like that, you know, are they tired or whatever? I mean like the vibe, the confidence, the balls, the swagger. And whenever somebody talks about confidence and swagger, they talk about the state, right? So when someone loses their confidence, when someone loses their swagger, when someone loses their aura, that's all talking about state, okay? So how do you get your state back? How do you get your aura back? Well, the thing is, like if I was coaching Conor McGregor right now, I see him as a guy who has a lot of stuff that he is bottling up inside, right? So for one, I wouldn't find it unnecessary not to try to release some of those things. But ultimately, the only true person that can help somebody get into the state is themselves, right? Because a lot of the times, the state change has a lot to do with something that you are either forcing yourself to do or a mask you're trying to put on, right? You see, when someone like Conor McGregor, when someone like, you know, a family member that you hear used to be a straight A student and then they drop out of high school and they start doing drugs, or maybe you've experienced this in your own personal life where you had a great career and then all of a sudden now you're looking for a job, everything sucks, or you got a big divorce and ever since the divorce you lost all this money and now you feel like a piece of shit. You used to be the breadwinner and now all of a sudden you are the shame of the family, right? Because everybody looks at you different now that you're struggling to paycheck to paycheck, right? You see, what happens is you buy into the story. Okay, I got divorced, so I'm that person who got divorced. I lost to Khabib. I got into all these scandals. I am no longer the same UFC fighter that I once was. So you buy into that story. That's the state that you choose, right? But isn't it something that Conor McGregor had a lot more success when he just did not give two fucks? He faced one of the greatest champions of all time, who went on this record where he didn't lose for 10 years. And everybody was like, yeah, Conor, he's a great, you're a great prospect. Don't get me wrong. You're the pride of Ireland. You're a great young and up and coming star. But this guy, come on, man, maybe you need a little bit more time. Goes in there. He starts calling him my son. I'm your fucking daddy. And he starts just belittling him the whole entire press tour. Goes in the cage, knocks him out in 13 seconds. Why? Because he didn't give up. Like, to be honest, if they would have done a rematch again later on, when he started losing his aura, as they say, he probably would have lost to the guy. Maybe on a decision, maybe not a knockout, but he probably would have lost to that guy. And of course, I'm talking about Jose Aldo, if any of you guys keep up with combat sports. But whether you keep up with sports, whether you keep up with music, whether you keep up with celebrities, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be a celebrity to go through a hard time that you identify with. And, oh, okay, because I experienced this hard time, that's my new identity. You can't do that. So what is the solution? What would I do if I told Conor McGregor, hey, you know what? Pay me $100K, change my life, and I'll change yours, right? What would I tell him? Well, for one, I would tell him to literally live like if the loss never fucking happened. I think revision is a thing that does not work for everybody, right? And it doesn't have to, right? It's just a technique. It really is. It's a technique that you choose, just like affirmations are just a technique, just like imaginal acts are a technique. So I've always said, if you don't like to do affirmations, great, don't do them. You have an anorexia, or what is it called, asphyxia, whatever the fuck it is, where you can't see the fucking imaginal acts, your imagination sucks, whatever it is, Anastasia, amorphia, whatever it is. If you can't see imaginational acts, what the fuck, I can't even speak anymore. What is in this cup? If you don't want to fucking do imaginal acts, don't do them. If you don't want to do affirmations, don't do them. If you don't want to do this technique, revision, fucking hanging yourself upside down from the monkey bars with a candle, then don't do it. But I would suggest a guy like him to do revision, because I have a feeling that, yeah, and the thing about Conor McGregor, right? And again, this is not supposed to be about, hey, I'm going to talk about Conor McGregor, but I'm using it as an example, right? If any of you guys don't know who he is or don't understand his story, I'm sure you've probably seen him before, because he's all over fucking social media, whether you like him or not. But dive into his story, because not for you to get into the sport of UFC if you don't like it, but dive into it because it's an interesting dynamic right now, because he just embarrassed himself in the main event of a fight just, I think, last Saturday. And it was a big build-up. It was his return in the ring after 5 years. And then he literally does a crazy kick and he breaks his leg. And this was the last time that he fought, he broke his leg again. So all this fucking weight just for him to break his leg again. Embarrassing, right? But you see, the thing is when something like that, so shocking, so disappointing happens, I believe that your best case scenario is just to revise. So the point that I'm trying to make before I make this video into a fucking Avengers Infinity War, right? Avengers Doomsday. Neil Arthos will return in Doomsday. I would say that if you want to change your aura, first of all, see what the fuck got you to change into this version of you that sucks, right? And revise whatever the fucking thing it was. Whether it's a breakup, nope, I broke up with them, right? Whether it was a divorce, nope, I've never been fucking married. I'm the fucking greatest player of all fucking time, okay? I'm the fucking Messi of womanizing, okay? I'm the fuck, or if you're, one of those ladies who's like, they always cheated on me. Nope, I always cheated on them. Case closed. I always tell my fucking women that. I always tell my little angels, who are my clients, that, because a lot of them have dealt with infidelity, right? But one thing I've learned about, I don't want to go into details, but I've told them basically to revise, and they've had success with that. right? If it's childhood trauma, nope, my parents loved me since the beginning. They were together. They never fought. Every single time they picked me up from recess, they had fucking a Reese's Pieces ready for me. Okay? Bars, okay? They were like, hey, buddy, let's go to McDonald's. Or, hey, sweetie, I just bought you a new My Little Pony. My Little Pony. Or, hey, pal, I got you new Transformers. Well, okay, well, actually, on second thought, for you guys, it's more like I bought you a new fucking iPhone 12. Jesus Christ. But you get what the fuck I'm trying to say, guys. Go to the back, go like the same way we manifest about SPs, go backwards and manifest for your injuries, manifest for your setbacks, manifest for your breakups, your divorces, your trauma. It never fucking happened, and see what the fuck happens, okay? Now, if you want to have a session where we go more in depth with these setbacks where you felt like you are no longer the same person that you once were, you're a shell of yourself, or fuck, I mean, this is something that still occurs when you are still manifesting SP or manifesting money, because a lot of you guys feel like you are not the version of yourself who you want. And the same thing works. Revision does work for if you want to be a new version, where it's not so much something that happened in your past, but you just have not had the success you wanted. Whether it's revision or whether it's just changing into the state and you want to know how to not give a fuck about the circumstances, the links are down below, guys. I would love to work with you. And join the channel membership and you get discounts to all the services. I love you guys. Konnichiwa.